But I'm back again, and I'm talking about my views on interracial dating among black men. I mean, black women and white men. I tend not to be too offended with most of the shit that I see. Granted, the videos that I do see on YouTube that aren't like well polished. I'm not talking about the Crystalline Karazins or the Simone 56 or those women, those black women who do the cult swirling to where they do it only in spite of pissing off black men. I get offended with them, but I don't get offended with black women who just kind of do it on the go. Like, I was a black, like, you'll have stories. I've listened to some of these women's stories of, like, what's her name, Garnish Style or something. And, she's this dark skinned girl who does makeup. And, she talked about how, and, I pointed this out with her, is that, she talked about how, black men were not attracted to her and how she felt ugly and she didn't feel good with herself. But I always came to question her because I'm not saying that she's lying. I'm just saying that, in later down that video, she made a statement saying that she didn't have her shit together when it comes to looks. She was overweight. She didn't, she wasn't keeping herself together. And I felt like, with certain black women, they act like they have to. They act like being in a relationship is a privilege that they automatically deserve. And it's like if they say, "Hey, I want a relationship. I deserve a relationship." It's kind of like that. I feel like they have such a complex with relationships, and that if they want a relationship, that somebody better date them, or something's wrong with men or something. It's like, nah, it's unfair. And I pointed it out. I think I accidentally deleted. I wonder if that was the comment that I accidentally deleted. But in the past, I made a statement to her saying that you can't expect guys to date you at. It's unfair that you expected black men to date you at your worst, but when you're dating other men, oh, you're at your best. You lost weight. You're wearing makeup. You're maturing. I felt like that was like an unfair advantage that other races of men, have. I also remember another girl who dates interracially. I forgot her username, but I believe she's this black girl who dates Italian men. And she talked about when she was in high school, and she was in this suburban high school, and she was a cheerleader. And she talked about how, black men, the black football players, didn't date black girls, and they were all looking for the white girls and this, that, and the third. And she felt some type of way about it. I always feel like when it comes to attraction, even with the problems with black lames, is that we expect we expect other people to do most of the work, and we just be ourselves too much, and we don't see faults in ourselves. It's like, with the problem, for example, the problem with black lames is that black lames will harp over, shit in high school, and they'll be like, well, when I was in high school, all the black girls in my school, they called me lame, and they made fun of the way I dressed, and they never appreciated me. They always wanted to date the thugs and the football players. And it's like, it's like, wait, but like, if granted, sometimes you do have to change yourself in high school. You don't need to be rocking the super, super latest and the most expensive shit. But I'm like, hey, if your hair is not, kept up, and, you're wearing some really bad, tennis shoes, bro, you need to upgrade, clean yourself up, dust yourself off, and, do something. don't expect the baddest bitches to come to you. And it's like you're not even trying to impress yourself. You're not even trying to, give a good first impression. It's like, you're privileging yourself, and that's not fair. And I feel like girls, they do the same thing, to where even though they may have a kind heart, it's just always that they always want the guys that every girl dates, and it's like it's completely unfair. And that's why I get mad sometimes when I get mad when I hear about black girls saying, "Oh, I don't date black men," and it's because of the archetype, stereotypical, hypermasculine black male who they envision as this evil rapist who hurts and breaks women's heart. And then it's like you have black men on the side who are not that stereotype, but yet you know we're invisible but seen at the same time. They know that we're there, but it's like you know it's like no matter what we do or what we say, it's like not good enough, and we're like still invisible. And it's like, oh well, fuck black men. And it's like, well, I don't do that shit. you know that's why when I was in high school, there was that era of niggas ain't shit. And black girls in my school were not talking about dating white men or dating other races of men. It was still they would still date men, but it was kind of with this disdain that black men or black boys, they just weren't shit, and you just had to use them for your sexual advantage or your sexual gains. And I would hear like women constantly say, "Y'all niggas ain't shit. Y'all niggas ain't shit." And I would ponder, and I'd be like, "Do I fit that?" I wish I asked them, but I didn't. But I should have asked them and said, "Hey, do I fit that motif? Do I fit that stereotype? And if not, how come I'm not being looked at? How come I'm not, given a chance or appreciated, or, no one's talking to me? How can you expect more, but then you're like, you know, there's this guy right over there, but you ignore him, but you see him, but you ignore him." And it's like you know what's better, but you just choose to suffer because that's all you know, or you're afraid of what people might think, or you're afraid that you're afraid of not living up to blackness, that whatever. Whatever. I'm just going on a tangent. But interracial dating and relationships in person, they don't really bother me. I feel like it's the YouTube thing. I feel like the issue is with YouTube and how there's this battle of pro-blackness and policing, and telling people like you're not pro-black because you do this. And there's this heavy you have a lot of black men who are thirsty for power, and the thing is they can't, and they say it themselves. Even sergeants, they talk about how they feel powerless and they cannot do the things that they want black men to do, and they don't have that draw, or they don't have that leadership to where they can get at least 100 black men in their area and do something positive. And since black men don't have the energy, the leadership, or I would even say they don't even have the communication skills to even do that. They feel powerless, and they just end up, oh well, hey, we can't get black men to do what we want, but hey, let's just talk about black women all day and the fucked up shit that they do wrong, and let's bully them to submission. That's why I see where the problem lies. Um, but I think that's really my thing on interracial relationships. They don't really bother me in person, but it's the YouTube energy that does bother me, because I can understand both sides from black women who swirl, but my thing is that I don't want to hear about you don't see color, but it's like you know, once you see a guy like me, or a black man who isn't a stereotype, you still stereotype him, and you want him to fail and be like, oh, haha, yeah, he's just like them. He's just like the rest of them. I feel like black men have to maintain, even if when a lot of swirlers, Kristen Curson, would rant about how black men need to be better, or do this and do that. But it's like, if we did, black men worry about if we did the things that black women want us to do from, a moralistic or character level, there's that fear of, that's not what they really want, because we don't see it. That's why, they don't see it. I could tell a black boy to pull up his pants and, stay in school, don't gangbang, don't do drugs, don't drink. But if he lives in a neighborhood where he sees females cooperating with guys like that, and he comes to me and he's like, hey man, I did the shit that you told me to do. Granted, I feel better about myself, and I feel self-gratified, I feel like a man, this, that, and the third. But hey, I'm lonely, and I'm not getting the respect from women that I want. And I can't say anything about that. They're not. The black community isn't really seeing. Children aren't really seeing. Intelligent black men, taking leadership positions, or being the best of fathers, or getting women that they like. Black children, aren't really. I never really seen a black child brag about their father. Like how you see white girls brag about their fathers, and you hear black girls. I mean, not black girls, white girls, young age, talking about how their dad is a businessman. Oh, my dad's in the military. Oh, my dad's a lawyer. You see, even with TV shows, you tend to see how, like, white girls, they tend to brag about their fathers and how great they are. But I never really seen black children, even in real life, do that. I don't. There's no bragging rights. The only bragging rights that I ever seen on television and in real life is just whether or not the father is in the home. And that's basically it. But yeah, but that's basically it. I'll make a part 3 because there's one more thing about interracial dating, interracial relationships that I want to talk about that needs to be getting off my chest.